Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. We have Alexandra Eala versus Viktorija Golubic for the quarterfinals of the WTA Suzhou Open in China. Very much looking forward to getting into this one. Should be an interesting matchup. They have never played each other before, so it's going to be one that I think could end up going to 3 sets given what's happened in this event so far. So what's on the line? So for Eala, it would mean another deep run, of course, at a WTA level event, especially at 125k. She made the semi-finals last week in 125k, and the week before actually won that event. She's continually rising up the rankings and she's looking to break into the top 50. She hasn't quite done so yet. For Golubic, it just helps with, I think, consistency, run of results at this level as well. She's historically been playing in Grand Slams and in bigger events, and this will be a chance for her to, I think, start making her way back up through the rankings. And of course, bragging rights for the head-to-head. Before we do get into it though, of course, remember that like button, do subscribe if you're new, and do a rating or review if you're listening on a podcast platform. In terms of route to the quarterfinal stage, so Eala, she beat Greet Minnen in 3 sets. Very gritty match from Eala, and also Katerina Kawa, again a tough match but managed to come through it. For Golubic, she defeated Linda Fravitova, the young Czech player, in straight sets. Impressive win there. And then Masarova in the round before. I would say that Golubic's opponents have been slightly harder on paper than Eala's. What I would say is that Golubic has been more dominant and she's probably less fatigued potentially. Eala's had shoulder strapping at times and also has had a leg niggle. She's been playing a lot of tennis in the last 3 weeks, so I do wonder whether fatigue might play a part, and at some point it's going to catch up to her. Whereas with Golubic, this is her only tournament that she's played since playing the China Open, which obviously was very recent, but because she didn't do particularly well at the tournament, it didn't really phase her too much. Lost in the first round in 3 sets to Priscilla Hon, so she came straight into this one fresh, and before that had played the US Open, and she's only dropped 7 games en route to this quarterfinal. In terms of style comparison and how this one might play out, so Alexandra Eala, as we know, is a left-hander, and with Viktorija Golubic, she's a right-hander, but she's got a one-handed backhand, which is quite interesting to see. We don't really see too many people with one-handed backhands nowadays on tour, especially on the women's side. It's actually quite rare, and I think actually what is intriguing about the one-hander, especially at the WTA level, is that I guess there's not a huge amount of players that play with a whole lot of high topspin, but actually you would then think that there would be more one-handers on tour, but Golubic has one anyway. That is something that Eala could definitely take advantage of as a left-hander. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. Preferred surfaces, well, I think Eala is very good on the hard courts. That's her favorite outdoor hard courts. Specifically, I think Golubic indoor and outdoor hard is probably hers as well. Serve return dynamics, I think Eala doesn't top the serve dynamic, and that's the case with majority of players. Golubic has marginal edges on the second serve performance and in saving break points, per some recent stats. But for Eala, her general returning is a lot better and stronger than Golubic, and she's statistically better at returning opponents' second serves. In terms of experience, we know that Golubic is the one with the more experience out of the two. She's a veteran of the sport and will be able to manage the match quite well. For Eala, she just needs to play the fearless tennis she has been playing since she's burst onto the tour. Golubic is going to lean on consistency, try and extend rallies and construct points using variety, so the slice, especially on the one-hander, and depth to try and disrupt Eala's rhythm. What's going to be interesting is how often she's able to go line with the backhand slice or backhand drive with that one-hander into the Eala backhand, because going into the forehand is probably not the best ploy unless she's able to flatten out that backhand cross-court and keep it low to the Eala forehand, which will make it awkward. For Eala, she is, as we know, she's a bit more of a shot maker and a little bit riskier in her baseline tactical play, and she is going to go for more from the baseline, especially if she's feeding it a little bit physically. So, you know, it's going to be a good clash of styles. I think Eala needs to be trying to keep the points as short as possible and really trying to take advantage of that Golubic one-hander, and that might mean going high and heavy into that ad corner, into that backhand corner of Golubic. If she does, I think she'll get some shorter balls, and we saw her utilize that quite well against someone in the past in Janice Chen, who's got a two-handed backhand but utilizes the one-handed slice a lot. So I think that's something that she needs to utilize to then open up the open court to go forehand down the line, or even backhand cross court if Golubic tries to change direction. Because changing direction is all well and good, but you have to change direction effectively. And Eala is actually very good, has a pretty flat and potent backhand when the ball especially is shorter. She's able to take it early and hit through the court, and that's one of the biggest positives she has in her game, is that she's able to take the ball early. So I'm going to go with, I think a lot of it actually depends on the physical state of Eala. I'm going to assume that she's going to have enough physically in this match, and I'm going to go with her to win, but in 3 sets. I think it's going to be a really tough match. I'm not sure if she'll have much left in the tank after this, if she does play 3 sets here and does get the win, but that's my prediction. Let me know in the comment section below what you think and why. I think given current form, Golubic is probably the safer pick, but I just think matchup-wise, maybe Eala can edge this one. Interested to hear your thoughts. Thanks very much, guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.